Oh, hey there. Didn't see you. This is Sam and Cody. Probably wondering why we're talking to you like this at the start. Well, thanks to some technical difficulties, unbeknownst to us, there's no video for this podcast. There's audio though, so if you would like to listen and look at cool poses we do, that'll be available to you. If you would also like to send money to Sam so she learns how to properly record video, we would also greatly appreciate that. Just kidding, I love you, Sam. But back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Hello and welcome to episode 17 of the Geek Games podcast. I am Sam Suvak alongside Cody Tetrick. Hello, sir.
Hi.
That was awkward.
I didn't know if you were just gonna lead into how you doing, or if I was supposed to do the hi thing. We don't really have a format here. We just bounce back and forth every
We
week.
need to set some rules and then stick to it.
Apparently, I mean, when Tom does the intro, it's really easy.
I mean, he's a professional, so.
Is. Hey, did you send him the paycheck, by the way? He's been texting me all week about it. I thought we agreed that you were covering our financials.
I told you if you don't get it approved beforehand, there's no payment going out. And you didn't submit a purchase order, so there's nothing I can do, really.
He's Canadian. He'll forgive us. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I thought you said you
money.
had just worked something out with him. Like we didn't have to pay him.
I mean, I sent him some food and milk, but apparently that's not good enough for him.
Okay.
Apparently you need money to survive. Who knew? Anyways.
This is getting weird. All right, we're gonna move along. Okay. Oh, Cody, wait, real quick. I need to do a quick time fart and rewind time because I forgot at the top of the show I was going to announce that this is a special episode for Pride Month, and we're going to have a special feature where we focus on games that we like that have really good queer representation. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. I did forget to mention it, so we had to go back in time to add that in there. So now let's get back to the show, and we'll get to the queer stuff in just a little bit. Cody.
Yeah.
We got some exciting news. I don't really know if it's news, but just, hey, early warning for you guys. It's
an exciting announcement.
It's an exciting announcement. If you guys are listening to this, on the day it releases or soon thereafter, you have time because this Friday, June 29th, we're having a community game night and we're going to be playing Trials Fusion. Our goal is to start at 8 p.m. Central, which would be 9 Eastern. So if you are interested in joining us, just reach out to us and let us know. Twitter at GeekHeartGames, or you can email us at contact@geekheartgames.com. And so we picked Trials Fusion just kind of randomly because it's one of the free PS Plus games this month. And that way everybody would have free access to it. We don't want people to have to spend a bunch of money to come play games.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, Cody, I went ahead and downloaded it, and I started playing it, and I've been having a ton of fun with this game. So you had never played any of the Trials games? I don't know if there's more than this game.
I'm pretty sure there is more. I played one on Xbox 360, but I watched a bunch of Trials Fusion be played because it's a game YouTubers like to play a lot.
Yeah. So basically it's like motorcycle racing, but it's a platformer and you're doing just like different tricks and going over obstacles on the bike. And I was telling my friend Marcus at work about this. I'm like, this is so cool. It's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, that's what trials are. That's like a real thing. People do this in real life on their motorcycles. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is amazing. So I'm going to have to look that up and watch some of this stuff. But this game is a lot of fun. And it's really simple in theory because you just have like your gas and your brake are the triggers, and then you use the left joystick to kind of lean forward or lean back on the bike to like keep your balance when you're going over different things. But it's really tricky and you can crash a lot. But I'm gonna warn you, it's highly addictive, apparently, because I started playing it and then like I don't want to stop, and it's kind of got that Resogun type influence on me right
Oh
now.
God.
I know it's horrible because like I'll be stuck on a certain trial and like I'll just be dying and dying and dying, but like I'm having fun and I don't have a desire to stop playing it, which is cool. So I'm having a blast. It turns out um, for each trial, you have 30 minutes to complete it. If you can't complete it in 30 minutes, you just fail. I found that out the hard way because in this one world that I just couldn't get past, I kept just restarting it. Um, I there's this part where you can get into little like warp worlds, and so you go hit this area and it warps you into this weird spot, and it's just these blocks that are floating in the air in these weird layouts, and so you have to do like really skilled jumps and stuff to like get across them, and that thing was real hard. Obviously, I didn't spend the whole 30 minutes in it because, like, I've been in the other part of the world for a while failing. But I was in this thing, and you can crash as many times as you want because by the time my 30 minutes were up, I'd crashed at least 250 times. So
Is that a made up number or it told you that's how many
no,
times?
it tells you at the top how many times you've
Holy
crashed.
shit, Sam.
So,
Good God.
oh, I'm telling you, it's so hard because I mean, you've got these blocks that are just like a little bit bigger than your bike. So, I mean, you can't get a running start. You just kind of have to do it. And you have to like
Mhm.
kind of bounce up on your back tire and then switch over to your front tire. And then just hop up and do weird things. So, I never got past that one. After that, the good thing is, you just have to get a certain number of medals in each world, and then it opens like the next world. So I think there's like 8 trials in each world, and the last one is usually really really hard, and you don't always
Mhm.
have to complete that one if you have enough other medals. So I like that I get to keep progressing. The real fun thing, you can unlock a bike that is a horse, and you're riding it as a cat who also seems to have a gun, which I don't think there's a reason for that because I mean,
I mean, do
there's
you
no
really need a reason?
no, yeah. Um, but yeah, so there's that. That's awesome. When you crash on that one, the cat makes this when he like falls down. It's really cool. You can get fun masks and stuff or like outfits for your character. I was disappointed because there didn't seem to be any like female characters that you can play or skins you can use, which was disappointing, but I'm still having fun with it. And I highly recommend it. I think everyone should. Obviously, if you have PS Plus, you should get your free game regardless. But this one is a ton of fun. You should get it and you should come play with us. So,
And for all you people who are going to be joining us this Friday, be on your A game because Sam's apparently been practicing a lot. So
yes.
we're all at
I,
a disadvantage right
I'm level 20 now. I've leveled up so many times. Fantastic.
now. I'm not gonna let you beat me in it though. Gonna
What
coming for you, Sam.
you better practice because it takes some getting used to. And like even now, it's like I mean, in theory, I kind of have an idea of what I should do, but really I don't. Like I've gotten so used to it that I don't like think things out. It's just like my muscle memory is like, oh, here's how I should balance to do this, and it's such a weird feeling. But I like it and it's great. So there you go.
That's good. I'm excited to play it.
So again, if you're interested in playing with us, just reach out to us on Twitter at GeekHeartGames or email us at contact@GeekHeartGames, and I will probably be kicking some serious butt on Friday when we play Trials Fusion. Cody's shaking his head,
Going
but he
down.
knows it's true. You better do some practicing first. So,
Apparently.
all right. Cody, why don't you fill me in on some of the stuff you've been playing lately? You've been playing a lot of games.
Yes, I've been playing a ton of games. So after E3, actually it was the day of E3, Nintendo released Hollow Knight. Now let me start off by saying I hate the term Metroidvania. I just think it gets thrown around a lot. And like, to be honest with you, I don't even know what the fuck it means, but that's how I would describe this game. It's Metroidvania, so I am what I hate. So you're this little like bug dude. You could possibly be a ghost wearing some bug clothes,
Okay.
and I'm not even past the first level at this point. I'm still like beating my head against the wall. Um,
Because is
the
it
way I've heard
also
this
a roguelike?
described, not really. It's more of like it's like the way I'd heard it described was a Metroidvania with a Dark Souls slash Bloodborne style um saving, where like you want to be saving all the time. If you see a bench, you want to be saving because if you die, you go back to the last time you saved. So if you saved at the beginning of the game and you're about like 30 minutes in and you die for the first time and teleport back 30 minutes later to the first checkpoint,
That
that
sounds
really sucks.
horrible. Are there not many
Uh,
benches, or did you just miss your benches?
I didn't know that the benches were the save point, so I'd like walk past two just being like, I don't need to sit on the bench and rest. What? Um, and then a gigantic beetle boss kicked my ass. So
Here at Geek Heart Games, we prefer to learn things the hard way. So,
exactly. Um, so I think there's a very interesting mechanic. So like how in Dark Souls, you can go back and pick up your souls. You can do a similar thing where you go back and have to fight a ghost version of yourself,
oh,
and you get so when you attack monsters, this little meter in the corner fills up, and you can have six of these little circles fill up after the meter finishes. That's how you heal yourself.
okay.
Um, because like the orbs act like uh health
Okay. You're like
orbs.
stealing health from your enemies as you kill
Yeah,
them.
pretty much.
Okay.
So if you do that, you get all those back. That's pretty cool. There's not a like apparently when you get later in the game, you get different like a double jump and like different abilities, but currently right now I have nothing besides just a little stab with my sword. Um, by all rights, I should hate this game, but the art style is so pretty and the music is so good. I'm loving it, even though I suck at it, which has been a very big staple for me this year, is playing games I suck at that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Um, I've also realized I really should play Nintendo Switch games docked
Yeah.
because I feel like I would like enjoy Hollow Knight more if I was on a big screen.
Yeah.
And so I need to do that, but like there's just something convenient about playing in handheld mode. So yeah, I'm gonna keep trying at it. I'm eventually gonna get past the first level. If I keep playing after that, I guess you'll find out.
How long have you been playing that you still haven't made it past the first level?
Like 3 hours.
That's
Like I get my ass
dedication.
kicked. Well, like I'm just very bad at like I jump on a ledge and a monster's coming at me, and I'm like I have time to like figure out how far away they are from me to attack
Mm.
with the sword because the sword's got some reach to it a little bit. Um, and before I know it, they're on top of me and they hit me and I lose like percentage of my health, and I'm like, motherfucker, man, come on, like. So
It's okay.
that's been Hollow Knight. It's been a lot of fun. I've also been diving into some like, well, one of them is definitely an MMORPG. The other one not so much. So let's go with the MMORPG. So I listened to What's Good Games, and Christine Steimer on there has mentioned how much she loves Guild Wars.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really do want to play MMORPG. Like that's why I bought Elder Scrolls Online. What if I gave Guild Wars a try? Because it's free. So
Oh.
I'm not wasting any money. Just, like you can buy stuff to play later on. But I just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the story of Guild Wars because all I got was like each race has something crazy going on with them. So I made a Nord, and what I can kind of get from them is they live in the mountains and they commune with animal gods, and I think eventually you can turn into an animal.
Ooh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, well, because every time they showed like a cutscene with a Nord, one of them was turning into a different one. Like one dude turned into a polar bear, and I was like,
Okay.
that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So I made a warrior with him. Really liked it. So like in Guild Wars, it's a little bit more adaptive combat where like once you hit like one, which is your simple slash, it changes to a different spell because you're doing a combo. And
Oh.
like I've never played a MMO like that, so that's really cool. And then if you have different weapons, the attacks change. So if you go from a two-hander, you're not gonna have the same attacks as you would with a sword and shield.
Okay.
And so like that's pretty interesting. That's an interesting mechanic I've never experienced before. So I was really enjoying that. I got I think like level 6 on that before I was like, well, I really want to try out this necromancer because necromancy seems cool, I guess.
Oh yeah, always bringing
Um,
up the dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I made what I assume would be like a wood elf, but they had a special name for it, which is escaping me right now. Um, their backstory is that they live in the dream, which is like their world,
Okay.
and monsters are attacking the dream, so they have to defend it. Very confusing. I was
Okay.
like, okay, whatever. Um, did not enjoy this class as much because I did A, not summon any skeletons, and B, died like 3 times. So,
I mean, three
like,
times is nothing, Cody.
well, I ran around as a warrior who has no healing abilities, while the necromancer has like a couple healing abilities, I was very confused. I was like, huh,
All right.
okay, that's confusing. Um, I don't think I'll keep playing it.
Okay.
It was a nice little try, I gave it the old college try and was like, okay, but it's no World of Warcraft, so I don't think it's for me. Um,
Is it no Elder
but
Scrolls also?
it's no Elder Scrolls also.
Okay.
But I mean, it's free, and like you can play up to like level 80, I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow.
And after that, you have to buy. They have like DLC packs that you can buy.
Yeah.
Um, and like for a game that looks very stunning, it ran really well on my laptop.
Yeah.
And this laptop is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So cool. I was like, all right, this is awesome. Uh, so yeah, if you've ever been curious about Guild Wars 2, definitely give that a shot. I think it was a lot of fun, just not for me personally.
Okay.
So the game that has been taking over my life lately, though, is Warframe. So I've played Warframe a lot over the like since I've gotten the PS4, like because it's a free game.
Yeah.
So when you get first to the PS4, you're like, well, what free games can I play? So I downloaded it then, and didn't really understand what was going on. So I played it a couple times and was like, I'm good. And I've gone back to it over the years. So in Warframe, you are playing as the Tenno, and they use different Warframes, which are like almost like classes that have different abilities and stuff. And you're going across the solar system and fighting evil, which is usually like two different bad guys.
Two different
Um,
bad guys. That's all the evil that there is in the world.
well, there's two different races of bad guy. There's the Grineer and the Corpus.
Okay.
The Corpus are a bunch of assholes, and the Grineer are a bunch of assholes as well. Um, I don't know. So they had a PC update come out, and I saw a bunch of gameplay of the PC update, and
Hmm.
I was like, shit, I really want to get into this game. So when the PC update comes to console,
Hmm.
I can play it because they give you a free Warframe. I'm not going to spoil anything about it. Um, so I've been playing a lot. It's a looter shooter with like some MMO aspects where like you get a bunch of people together and you go do like horde-based stuff and like there's different mission types. It's a lot of deep gameplay. Like there's a crafting system, there's a mod system that you can put on weapons and your Warframe, and like there used to be a rating system, but they took it out and they're retuning it.
Hmm.
It's supposed to come back, so I was like, oh, I can just keep playing and eventually get to do a raid. That's cool. So you probably heard about Warframe, and you're probably like, well, what's the catch? The movement is amazing.
Really?
Like you're doing like you're the Tenno are pretty much ninja,
Okay.
and you are doing parkour around. There's a thing called a bullet jump
Mhm.
where you like launch yourself into like a spinning bullet formation, and like you fly across the map like really easily. Like if you don't want to fight anything in a map, you don't have to. You can stealth around, but also do crazy parkour to avoid stuff. And like there are missions where like you have to spy on people and like kind of hang out. And like I've done it just by like bullet jumping straight up and landing on like a ledge, just hanging out there while doing it. So like
That sounds really cool.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like the movement's incredible, and like the gunplay is also pretty good. Like I haven't
Yeah.
really found a weapon I really enjoy yet. If you have Twitch Prime, they're giving away right now a free Warframe called Trinity. She's like a healer. Um, in the past, they gave out like a assault rifle that like had like 200 bullets in the clip. So like you're just kind of spraying and praying, and I don't
Yeah.
like that. Like I like
Yeah.
to be doing a ton of damage. So I haven't found a gun that does a ton of damage yet, but I'm still looking. Uh, yeah, I'm like really liking that game, and like I don't know. So now if Anthem is really bad, I'm okay with it because I just have Warframe. So
Fair enough.
it's a I don't lose in this scenario, I guess. Um, but yeah, like right now I am so you craft different Warframe classes, like you get the
Yeah.
parts and you can craft them. And right now I'm making one called the Valkyr, and I'm pretty sure someone who works for the Warframe people, I think they're called Digital Extremes, read an X-23 comic and went, I want to make that into a character in our game because this character like gets ragey, will sprout claws out of her hands and just start slashing everything in front of
That's
her. And I'm like,
awesome.
that's what I want to play. So I'm making that right now, and I'm very excited to play it.
Also, it's called a Valkyr, which
Yes.
sounds quite a bit like oh, never mind. I was thinking Javelin Valkyrie again. Never
Uh,
mind. That's not.
we're just
It's
tying
just
all the games
everything
together.
sounds the same these days. I don't know. But yeah, Warframe sounds cool. I mean to play it at some point. I've got it downloaded. I just haven't ever got into it. You were gonna stream it this week, but I wasn't caught up to where I would like know what to do with anything. So we did Killing Floor instead, which that's fine.
And I will say this, like Warframe, and like I've read this multiple times from different people. Warframe has a very high, there's a high wall to entry. Like you have to like persevere, and once you get over that wall, the game just opens up, and it is amazing. Like all the different combinations of weapons and warframes you can get, like it's amazing. And they're constantly updating that game, and like they have their own convention called TennoCon in Canada, and like they like people like thousands of people show up and like they announce new stuff for the game, and like everyone freaks out, and like I don't know, and like I'm getting into like the actual story bits
Uh-huh.
because like they have like a really long story thread that's going on, and it's pretty fucking cool, like everything they're like dealing with in this game. I was like, holy shit. So I definitely recommend Warframe if you're into looking for a free game. It's
Yeah.
free, so like you're
Yeah.
not losing any money trying it, so
We like
definitely
free.
give it a shot. We do. All right.
All right, cool. So I've still got a couple of games to talk about that I've been playing. But right now is kind of where we're going across the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge, and we're gonna start
The
talking.
Bifrost.
There you go. We're gonna start talking about some of our queer games. So just a little bit about this. Obviously, like when we say queer, we're kind of just all encompassing lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender, gender fluid, asexual, pansexual, like everything. Just because there's a lot to say, so just queer to cover it all. We don't want to leave anybody out. But the queer representation is really important to me, because I've spent about, more than 30 years seeing heterosexual stuff just all the time everywhere. So once queer stuff started popping up and becoming more prevalent, it's just a really exciting time. And in the beginning, it's one of those things where like, oh, this game has a gay character in it, so I've got to go play this game. Like anytime there was like any game that would have it, you'd be like, oh, I've got to go play this one right here because it's got something queer in it. But like we're starting to reach that point now that there is representation in so many games that like even if you wanted to, you probably couldn't play all of them, or at least your wallet couldn't afford to go get all of them. And that's a really good like turning point. It's like a good start because like there's just so much there for you, and it's starting to become more of a regular thing. And eventually, it won't even be a standout thing. It'll just be all games have stuff like that because they're just representing what life is really like. So we're working towards that, and eventually we'll get there. But until we do, we still want to celebrate the really cool stuff that's out there right now. So that's kind of where we're coming from with this, and we're going to be getting into some of the games that we really like. But there's a couple that I've played recently that I wanted to talk about still. So there's this game called Hustle Cat, and oh my god, there's so many different things I need to talk about. Anyway, I'll get more into. There's this group called Queerly Represent Me, and they're like kind of a database of games with queer representation in them. And so I've been following them on Twitter, and they tweet about different stuff. And so I think this is one of the games that I kind of heard about from them. And I was like, kind of want to play it, but I was like, I don't know. Do I want to spend money? So I went to Steam to see how much it was. And I don't think it was very much. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy it. So I logged in. And it turns out I already own the game. I don't know how. I mean, I bought it at some point previously. Who knows? Maybe it was a humble bundle. Just sometimes I surprise myself like that. And I'm like, oh, past Sam did some good stuff here and like bought this game. So didn't even have to pay for it. Already had it. So that was exciting. So this game is like a visual novel, kind of. You're going through and you're this girl, Avery, who she's kind of like a lazy shiftabout, I would say. She's not doing much, but she decides to go out and get a job, and she ends up at this cafe where they have a bunch of cats. So it's like all the stray cats get taken in and they hang out there, and there's just a bunch of weird people that work there. And so she gets a job, and there's like magical supernatural stuff happening here, which it's really cool. It's got a fun storyline, and you get to romance whoever you want. There's quite a few different characters to choose from. I had my eyes set on this girl Mason, who is the cook, because she's kind of a little bit mean and standoffish, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, I like that. So I was trying to woo her. But apparently this game, you have to be real careful with your decisions, because like I thought I was just being nice to this other girl, Finley, and then like all of a sudden I was dating her, and it was like past the point of no return. Like I couldn't romance anyone else. I was stuck with her. And I was like, I don't know how this happened. I thought I was just being polite. So you kind of have to be a little mean, I guess, to keep yourself on track. The second time I played through, I followed a little guide that told me exactly which decisions I needed to make in order to end up with Mason. But she has a nice storyline. You end up learning some magic and doing stuff, and then like there's like a bad guy who's trying to like kill the boss of the cafe, and like the final battle is like you and whoever you're dating like has a special ability that only they can do that like helps defeat the bad guy. So it's pretty cool. So I played it through twice to get the different endings, and both times it was a lot of fun. So I think that is a really fun game. You guys should check it out. Do you have any interest in cat?
Why is it called Hustle Cat?
Honestly, I don't remember if the name of the cafe is Hustle Cat.
Okay.
But I mean, it's just like there's these cats. There's like all kinds of cats, and
Just hanging around the cafe?
no, like the boss like takes in the stray cats. They like live in the cafe, which like is a big no-no, I would say, for like health, safety, inspector, food, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't think that's okay,
Okay.
but somehow they get away with it. Oh, and like most of the time it's like dead in there and there's not a lot of people, but there is this cat that's an internet sensation named Jelly Donut, and she will balance donuts on her head. And so like everyone comes to see her on the days that she's like out making a performance or something. So it's fun. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So Hustle
Okay.
Cat.
Hustle Cat. All right. So next up, if you know me very well, you know that I have not been a fan of The Last of Us in the past. But I think I mentioned last week I started playing it again after E3, and so I finished it now, and I finished the Left Behind DLC, and it's a really good game, you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it is. I remember the first time I heard you say you didn't like The Last of Us, and I was like, you have not tried to play that game then, because it gets really good.
I had tried it multiple times, Cody. It just took a real long time.
The Last of Us is like one of my favorite games of all time, and like every time I think about going back and replaying it, I'm like, well, no, because like that first time I played it was just so special. I can't go back and like it won't be as special this time.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think? What did you like?
I mean, it's a really good story. I've said before I didn't care for Joel at all from the beginning. He took quite a while to grow on me. He eventually did, but I just from the start I was just like about him. I stand by my previous statements that this where you have to do the slow walk while people talk about stuff is so fucking annoying, okay? Just have a cutscene where you get it all out, or, let it come out while I'm running around doing stuff. Don't make me. I just don't like games that kind of waste my time. And it's like the gameplay isn't really progressing while you're having some of these discussions. You're just like walking slowly and you have to hold the stick down. One time I got a good work in the system where I stood in front of this guy and he was walking and he just pushed me and I didn't have to like hold the controller. I was like, why can't we just do this the whole time? Come on. Don't make me do a stupid little walk. So if they had more cutscenes that just took care of it, I would be okay with it. It was really fun to get to play as Ellie. There were two parts, which I don't want to get into spoilers really, but there were two parts where you play with her for a bit. But two parts where she was in like mortal danger, like she was about to be killed. It was desperate times, and like the first time I was like, oh god, is this gonna be the point where Joel busts in the room and saves her at the last minute? I was like, I'm so sick of like that type of thing. I don't need that. And that's not what happened. She used her brains and her brawn and she took these two guys out and she got away. And I was like, fuck yeah, Ellie. That was awesome. I love it when our heroes can just like take care of themselves and they're not relying on somebody else to come save the day. So I was like, that was awesome. And then a little while later, Ellie got herself in mortal peril again, where she was like about to be killed. And I was like, God damn it, is this the point where Joel's gonna bust in and save her? No, again, she stepped up and she took care of business herself. It was brutal. It was a very emotional moment for her. And it was great. I was like, man, Ellie is the hero. And it's like, when you kind of start to realize that this game is building and setting her up as the hero. It's like her journey to become something more. So that was really cool. The Left Behind DLC was really good. Although I will say it started and I'm watching the cutscene where Riley like surprises her and they're like blah 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 and they're talking and I'm like, this is great. And then the scene changes. And then I got really disappointed because I suddenly realized that I'd have to play the game some more. And I was like, no, I wanted to just watch this. Like, if this was a movie and I could just watch it, I would just watch it. This would be fantastic. I'm like, I don't need to play this. But it was okay. The DLC does a thing where you're kind of jumping back and forth in time to do some different stuff as the story unfolds. And I didn't care for the stuff that was in present day at all. I was just like, eh. But the stuff when you flash back to her time with Riley was like so sweet. Because it's just like two friends, like, they're in this post-apocalyptic world. They're, training to use guns and defend themselves and do this. And like, this was like a little day where they kind of got to be kids and just like goof off and have fun. And that was cool. I liked the fun little like mini games they did where like you were at the arcade and at the photo booth and doing stuff like that. There was the water gun fight, which I didn't win because she kept finding me and squirting. I was like, well, shit.
When you did the photo booth, did it give you the option to link your Facebook account and post the picture?
Yeah, but that wasn't real. You couldn't link your real account. That was just it was just like in game.
No, you could. I legitimately have posted it on my
Seriously?
Facebook.
It wouldn't,
Yeah, when I
like,
played the
it
game,
started just typing stuff in. It didn't let me type it in.
I wonder if they removed that option. Like it's just you can't do it anymore. But when I played the game back in 2014, yeah, I did it. Like it's on my Facebook and all that. So I was
Well, I'm
curious if they let you
pissed
do it.
now because, like,
Sorry.
I saw that pop up and I was like, ooh, am I gonna get to put this on Facebook? And then it didn't work. So that's some bullshit. I don't approve of that. But yeah,
So I
otherwise,
guess
yeah.
for those of you not in the know, the reason why this thread qualifies as queer representation, in the Left Behind DLC, it's revealed that Ellie is gay. Her and Riley share a kiss. Um,
Oh my
so
god.
like,
Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just. Oh,
no,
can
you
you?
go.
I mean, is it like too spoilery to say something that happens? I don't.
I mean, the game
Okay.
came
All
out
right.
in 2013. It's been 5 years, and you haven't played The
Okay.
Last of Us yet.
All right. If you're an
Don't listen
idiot like
to
Sam and hasn't played it yet, then maybe skip ahead a minute. But there's this part where it's so sweet. So Riley is gonna go off with the fireflies and leave, and like this was her coming to say goodbye to her best friend, and Ellie's like, I don't have the right to ask you to stay. And Riley's like, you're the only one who could ask me to stay. And then they fight some more. And then later, Ellie's just like, don't go. And Riley's like, okay. And like, that's all it took. She just like want her to stay. And it was so sweet. Oh, I loved it. Go ahead.
and then something bad happens.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, something bad's gonna happen because
yeah.
Riley's not in the original game. So,
Uh, so when I played this game in 2014, it didn't like occur to me how important this was. That like there was representation in a game this big. Because Last of Us
mhm.
is one of the best-selling games of all time. It's critically acclaimed. They're making a sequel. Like this is important. Um, so I think like just for a second, I'd like to talk about like if you don't think it's important that there's representation, like maybe you should take a step back and realize how much you are represented in video games. Like as a white dude, I am represented in most video games. So when there is another person who is different from me represented in a video game, be it by race or by sexuality, um, and I enjoy that because I'm getting a peek into a life I don't understand. I'm playing as somebody who's entirely different from me. So this is really important. Like this is my first experience with representation, and like I know there was some backlash back in the day about this, but fuck those people.
Yeah.
Um, so as we talk about this, just think about that. Like there's a reason representation matters, and you get your representation every day. These people do not. So
Yeah, and it's just a really powerful thing to see someone like yourself shown in like being a hero and doing stuff like that
yeah,
and getting to play as them. It means a lot. So anyway, Last of Us. Turns out it's a great game. So
yeah. And Joel is the best. Fuck you if you do not agree.
Joel, I mean, he definitely grew on me, but man,
He
he's
should have grown on you in the first 5 fucking minutes.
see
That's
that
that's when you should be like, man, Joel's a really cool dude.
see you might relate to the gruff not sharing emotions, just being the guy, like maybe you relate to that. I don't relate to that. I'm like, no, no. So it took a long time.
We're so gonna have a conversation off air about this not showing emotion bullshit.
Yeah, it's true. You're like the most emotional person I know.
Well, it's not just that. It's just that there's something that happens in the first 5 minutes of the fucking Last of Us that is
Well,
like, holy shit, and Joel
well,
was crying. So,
okay, all right. The first part was good, but then like he's just a dick once you get to
well,
the flash forward.
I mean,
No, it's fine. I understand why. It's just like
yeah,
I can't help it. I didn't relate to him. It's just not everybody relates to that. It's fine.
not a
Sometimes
lot of people lose their child. So,
there is that. And it's
so
like, the end of the world type thing. So, I mean, he had reasons. It's fine. It's fine. It's a good game.
Joel's the best. And
He's
yes, it is a good game.
he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He
Really good multiplayer, by the way. Like, awesome.
really.
Yeah, it's called Faction. They call it Factions. I don't know if it
I
shows
can
up
tell if you're
still. They
being
may have.
sarcastic.
Oh no, no, I really do love it. Like,
Okay.
it's very tactical. I liked it a lot.
Okay, because see, I saw there's multiplayer and I'm like, I have no desire to play that because I didn't care for the combat in this game. So,
It was a little wonky at times. Like, there's definitely a lot of like bullshit mechanics, but when you got into a good game, it was just a lot of fun.
so is this how it works? Like, you've got 5 people on this team, 5 people on this team, you drop in, there are 10 bullets and one gun hidden, and you have to go find them and get it and go from there
No.
because ammo's so scarce.
There's a crafting system, and you can pick up stuff to craft bullets and armor, bombs, Molotovs, first aids, shivs, and there's like special weapons. And if you got enough of these like things you pick off of dead people's bodies, you could get the special weapon. Like there's like a big assault rifle that does a ton of damage. Um, but yeah, I liked it. I'm interested to see. I think they announced that The Last of Us 2 actually has it,
Yeah,
so
I think they
that'll
did.
be cool.
So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to get into some of our older favorites that we haven't played recently, but stuff that has stuck with us. So, obviously, I am going to start with Butterfly Soup, which I have talked about previously many times because it's so good. So Cody,
Yep.
I just have to ask real quick. Did you ever play Butterfly Soup?
Um, so here's the thing. I had planned to, and then I wiped some files on my computer and it deleted. And I just have not gotten back around to downloading it again. I do plan on doing it before the end of the year, so when we do our top tens, I can put it on there and you can stop hating me. So
I don't hate you. I know that
you're
you're really gonna
disappointed.
like it, and so I don't understand why there's such resistance to playing it, because you're gonna love it.
I can't even use the excuse that I don't like playing on my computer because I legitimately played Guild Wars 2 on
You
my computer
did.
for this episode,
You
so
did. So, and it's not a long game. So,
it's
I
not.
mean, it would just like take you an afternoon. You could play it with Rachel. It's a cute little story. You guys could play it together. It'd be real fun. So,
Okay.
okay.
I will definitely do it before the end of the year, I promise.
I mean,
So
I
in like
feel
six
like you've
months we
promised
can
me you were going to
reconvene.
play it previously and then you didn't. So, I mean, it's fine. We'll just.
I legitimately last night we were talking about this and you were like, I'm gonna give you shit. I really was like, I should download it and play it right now. Just so she's when she gives me shit, I'm like, I got you.
I know, I was half expecting, I'm going to ask him and he's going to say he played it. I had some faith, but
I was
I
really
was
tired though,
disappointed.
so I just went to sleep.
That's fine. It's fine. You need your sleep. It's good. All right, people. So, Butterfly Soup is a visual novel about four Asian American teenagers who love baseball and are also discovering their sexuality. And it is so. Oh my god, he's yawning. He doesn't even. Oh, he's getting just
No, I'm
tired. He's so
sorry.
tired from
I
hearing me
don't know why
talk
it is
about
wrong.
this. All right.
No, continue.
So you've got four main characters, and they're really quirky and fun. You've got like kind of the shy one, the angry one, the fun prankster one, and then the real stuck up, like studious one. And the way they interact together is so much fun because like they kind of are all best friends that love each other, but also they give each other such shit. Like you can't even believe like some of the really mean pranks that they do. They get into some like fist fights. Stuff happens, but it's got like some of the best humor in a game. And then it's just sweet because it's just like two of the girls are like just they've got feelings for each other and they're kind of figuring out what it means, and how much they're willing to admit it and show to each other. So it's just a lot of fun. It's got some really gross stuff too, which it's fine. Yeah, it does. Because, I mean, girls can be gross. You think it's just boys, but no, girls can be gross as well. And it's just, I don't know, I can't say enough good things about it. It's on itch.io. It's by a woman named Brianna Lee, or Lei, Lei. And it's a pay what you want game. So I mean, it's not even like there's a pay barrier. You can just get it and play it, and it's a good time. I highly recommend it. It might make you cry because there's some like real sweet emotional stuff. I guarantee it'll make you laugh many times. So, but yeah, that's one of my favorite games of all time. So, um, Cody, why don't you tell us about a game?
So Sam recommended this game to me a long time ago called Gone Home. And I had heard about Gone Home, and I thought it was a scary game. And there definitely is some high tension moments in this game where you're like, something's gonna pop out of this corner. Um, So the story is you are coming home to visit your family, and you're in their house, but the parents are gone, and so is your sister, and you're trying to piece together what's going on. And by doing this, you kind of start piecing together a little love story that's starting to look a little tragic. I don't want to spoil anything because this is a great game. Definitely go play it. Um, so yeah, like the entire time I'm like on edge. I'm like, oh God, this is a fucking horror game. Like
Hmm.
something's gonna pop out at me, and like it's just very high tension. Like you crawl down in like a little basement, and like you're like, this is it. This is when something's going to get me. All the meanwhile, this love story that's building, how sweet it is, and like how much these two characters, your sister and another character, care about each other. It's so beautiful. This is like, and I was like, when I played this game, I think I was constantly texting you like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like holy shit. And there's a moment towards the end where I was just like, I texted you, I was like, no, fuck no, this is not happening, because I thought something else was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I can't sing the praise of this game enough. I think it shows a very real and vitriol depiction of like what gay people, queer people go through when their families aren't so accepting. Like
Mhm.
you don't know why some people do not come out to their families because you don't know how they're going to react. So it shows a very realistic to me approach to that, and I definitely learned a lot from it. And I love that game so much. It was so amazing.
I believe you texted me at some point and were like, "You asshole, why didn't you warn me I was gonna cry when I played this game?"
Oh yeah,
I remember
I
that
like
text.
I lost it. I was like, oh shit,
I mean, it takes you through an emotional roller coaster. It is so good.
it does.
Um, this is one of the first games that I played that did storytelling in this way, where you're just kind of going through and gathering things that have little snippets of a story that you're slowly putting together. And it was so well done because, like you, I had no idea. I thought this was a horror game as well. I didn't know it was going to be a love story. I think that was like the best twist that I could ever have in this game, because you start reading stuff and it's like pretty innocent at first, and then I start thinking like, man, this sounds kind of gay. Like I think this girl's a little bit gay, and I don't know, but they're probably not going to deal with that in this story because like the majority of my life I've always spent like I want things to be gay, okay? And so like I always discount my stuff too much. I'm like, are they going to turn this person gay? I'm like, no, no, that's just me wanting it to be gay. It's not really happening. So like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like when Willow met Tara and started doing this, like it was really obvious that they were falling for each other, but the whole time I was like, no, this is just me wishing that it's going to happen. It's not really going to happen. And then it really happened and I was like, oh my god. So it was very similar to what happened in this game because I was like, oh my god, I think her sister's gay and I think there's going to be some stuff going on, but they're probably not going to deal with it. And then that was like what the whole game was about. And I was like, this is amazing. So I really enjoyed that. It was just, oh, it's such a good game. And that game has this like 90s Riot Girl soundtrack, which is like the kind of angry stuff I was listening to in high school. So I was just like, man, it took me back. And it was so much fun. It's such a great game. Um, Also, if you like do the little there's a trick where you can do where you turn on the TV and there's this cat video. Did you do this part?
I think I did, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is Seth?
Because like I think some of the stuff you're finding is your sister's journal, and then this was the cat's journal, and it's just they're just like someone's reading a journal, like the cat wrote it, but like every word is meow. So it's just meow 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 meow, and it's like has these inflections, and there's different pictures of cats on the screen while it's doing it. It's a really fun Easter egg. You should find that if you can. Oh my god, I forgot the most important thing I wanted to talk about today. Um, because I love Gone Home so much, I'd already mentioned Queerly Represent Me, which they've got a Twitter poll going. The whole month they've been doing this like bracket where they it's just all kinds of games with queer representation, and they have a little poll, and so you get to vote on which one you want. It's progressing, so we're in the quarterfinals right now, and they have the poll open for just like 24 hours for each little fight. And today's fight was Night in the Woods versus Gone Home. And like I can't keep up with the Twitter. I don't know why. I always almost miss it. So like I this afternoon I looked and it had like an hour left and Night in the Woods was winning. It was like at 63%. And I was like, "Oh no. Oh no, this is not okay," because I've played Night in the Woods and I didn't care for it. I didn't get very far in it, and I never got to really anything queer, so I was like, I don't know about this game, but Gone Home is amazing. So, like, I really need this game to win. So I voted for it on the Geek Games account. Then I switched over to my personal account, and I voted for it. And then I was at work. I was supposed to be working, but I was like, this is too important. I can't handle it. Turns out I have access to 4 different Twitter accounts at work. So all of them voted for it. Then I was like, okay, I need some help because we're not making the progress that we need.
Sam, we need to talk about your abuse of power and how you are rigging elections.
Well,
This
hey,
is
hey man, it's you campaign for stuff. It's what happens. But yeah, so I went to Discord. I asked for help. Groon and Megs both helped me out there. I went to Twitter, was asking for some help. I tagged a bunch of people. Sarah Miles from Talking Comics and also now Ladies of Valhalla. She helped me out. She voted. She retweeted. I got lots of people helping me out. With just in the nick time. Actually, I texted my sister. I'm like, Miranda, can you help me out? She's got multiple Twitter accounts. I'm like, I know she can help me out if we do this. So, all right,
you are rigging elections. That is illegal.
It's not illegal. It's not illegal to say, hey, you should go vote, and if this is the way you want to vote,
They're gonna
like,
throw that one out. They're gonna be like, we had a bunch of false ballots. It turned out the person kept voting. Anyways.
The poll ended and Gone Home won at 55%. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who voted for it. I know it was just like a last minute mad dash to try to get these votes in. And you guys really came through for me. And I appreciate it. It made my day. I do have to say this was just the quarterfinals. So it still has to win the semifinals. And then I guess get to the finals. So I don't know who it'll be up against next time. But hopefully it can continue its trek and come out as number 1. I mean, I don't actually remember what the other seeds are right now, because there might be some other really good games. It might get real tough, but for now, I'm very happy that it survived. So, okay. Oh, also, right now, the Steam sale is going on, and you can get Gone Home for under $5. So if you haven't played it, you should definitely go get it and try it out. So after Gone Home, I think it's Fulbright is the company that made it. They made another game called Tacoma, which is also on sale for half price on the Steam store. So Tacoma is kind of similar in that you're playing as a character who goes someplace and picks up parts of a story. This time you're going to a space station where something bad has happened, something catastrophic, and you don't know if you're going to find dead bodies or if people got away or what happened. And the way this one plays out is there are these like holographic video projections where the space station has recorded stuff that's happened and you can play it back to see what was going on. So you don't see actual people, you see kind of geometric shapes like if you were doing like a life drawing class and you just have like the rough outlines of shapes of bodies. But each person has a different color and they've got different body types. So it's easy to see who's who. And then like you can go like read their personnel files and get more information on them. So tragedy is struck on this space station. They're trying to get out with their lives before it like explodes or I don't know. So this is what you're trying to figure out what happened. But in this game, there's a lesbian couple that works on the space station, and so you get to see kind of their interactions like while tragedy is happening, and you're like, they don't know if they're going to make it out of this alive. They might be just their last minutes together. So you really get to see a nice selection of their relationship, And then there's also a man on the space station who has a husband back home and a son who's getting ready to go to college. And so, like, some of the stuff you see is like before the disaster strikes. And so you get to hear him like on the phone with his son and talking about like how they're trying to afford to send him to a good college and do stuff like that. And just like the relationship troubles with like, he's stuck on this space station for however long and like he misses his husband and stuff like that. So it's got like quite a diverse selection of people and types of stuff like that. So it was really good. I liked it a lot. It's a fantastic game. It's not as good as Gone Home, because Gone Home will always have a special spot in my heart, but it's a really good follow-up to that. So if you played Gone Home, you should check out Tacoma. It's a good one as well. So, all right, Cody, what's next?
I think I'm gonna talk about a very big one because like this is a very popular game. So uh, when they announced that Tracer from Overwatch was gay, I was like, damn, this is really big because Tracer is the like poster character for Overwatch. In fact, the Overwatch League and like Blizzard heavily has put a lot of money into this, so it's really cool to me that a gay character is the mascot for a huge franchise. Like, there's definitely going to be a lot of Overwatch games throughout the years.
Yeah.
So like the fact that she is the mascot for that gaming series is like really awesome for representation, I feel. Uh, and like I liked they did it in a comic because like I don't know how you would exactly make it work in the video game because the video game like already doesn't make a lot of sense where
Yeah.
you're fighting each other even though you're best friends.
Yeah.
Hey, we're Overwatch agents, but we're gonna fight each other. Uh, but
Well,
yeah, like the
and
way they did it,
just to say, like the majority of the story points come out in the
yeah,
animated shorts and the comic books. You're not getting much of the backstory in the actual game itself, so it's
yeah.
not out of the ordinary that this is the way they chose to bring it out. So,
So yeah, and I thought it was really sweet because like it was in a Christmas comic,
mm-hmm.
and you see Tracer like racing through, and like she's getting all these gifts for people, and she's like, "Oh, I forgot my most important gift," and she gets home, and you think it's like her roommate possibly, and nope, it's her girlfriend, and I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was really awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and like it's I'm trying to think how to word this because it's I just almost said it, and I was like, that sounds bad. Um, it's not like a risk, but like it's something you don't see a lot of big companies doing.
Yeah.
And so for them to do that and like stand behind it and be like, this is like Overwatch is for everybody
Mm-hmm.
is really important because like this is a game where like you can be a giant gorilla who's a scientist and like all this, and so like it's really cool that like they were like, no, like representation matters, and like
Mm-hmm.
our main poster child is going to be queer, and like
Yeah.
it's really sweet of them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so I read something where like I don't know if it was Jeff Kaplan or somebody from Overwatch had said that Tracer is not the only queer character in the game, but we just don't have it
Yeah, it
explained
hasn't
yet
been.
who else might be. But I think that's cool that, they're open to stuff. They do a pretty good job of uh just diversity in general. Like Symmetra is autistic. So
Yeah.
just like having that in the game too, I mean, there's not a lot of, I don't think there's a lot of video game characters with autism out there being represented. So like for someone to be able to play as her and get to see her like themselves represented on screen, it's just like it's so cool. So it's just like Blizzard really makes an effort. Oh shoot, I think we didn't do this in the best order because we're going to talk about Overwatch League later and some other cool stuff that they've been doing. But we'll come back to that later because we like Overwatch and what they're doing. So, okay. Okay, so next on my list was Life is Strange, which it's Life is Strange, but then also it's mostly Life is Strange Before the Storm, because both games kind of have it set up so that you can make your decisions and play how you want, and you can make it kind of queer, or you can keep it where everyone's just really good friends. Which I think it's cool that they have it open that way, so you can make the story whatever you want it to be. I was not super into the first one. I don't I don't know if I want to say things that might be kind of spoilery. Um, I don't know.
I'm not gonna play those games, so you're good.
So, like, when I was playing the first one, it seemed to me like Chloe was gay, and I thought that she had feelings for Max, and then Max moved away, and so they had lots of strife. And then she met Rachel Amber, and then Rachel Amber disappeared, and so like Max coming back into her life, like it really meant something to her because it was her best friend, but also maybe she was in love with her. But I never really got the sense that Max uh, had feelings for her. Just like, she loved her as a best friend. But that was like my main complaint with Max overall, was just she seemed kind of like a wishy-washy character. She like didn't really have strong opinions, which I guess that was just for like the player to be able to make her whatever they wanted her to be. I don't know. But there's this thing that you can do where Max will kiss Chloe at one point in the game. And like, it was cool that it happened, I guess, but also it just didn't feel right to me. All right, I'm gonna spoil the ending of Life is Strange. So if you haven't played it, go ahead and skip ahead just a few minutes because we're gonna talk about it. So at the end of, oh my God, are you taking it off? I was just gonna tell you. Well, I'm not gonna do it now. Okay.
I mean, you could have.
You said you were never gonna play it.
Well, never mind what if I like get the urge
Okay.
to one day.
Fair enough. There's decisions to be made. This thing happens. I don't know. I just thought that the decision you made would not have led to that kiss. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's move on. So Life is Strange Before the Storm. Again, you could make, this is in the past, it's about Chloe and Rachel Amber, and you could make them really good friends, or you can make them fall in love, which is really sweet. So that's, of course, what I did. Because, like, I want Chloe to be happy, and even though I know how it's going to end, like, I can at least let her have a good time before all the bad stuff happens. So that was a fun game where you got to just make it what you wanted. So I highly recommend it. I mean, what? He's raising his hand.
Oh, question. In Life is Strange, do any of the characters ever like stop and go, man, life really is strange?
I don't remember. You would think, I mean,
I'm gonna have to play this to
that would
find
be
out.
like an A+ moment in the game,
I
and
know,
I
right?
think it would stand out if I don't remember if they did or not. So there was in Life is Strange before this. When Life is Strange, there's this dog called, I think, Papadoo, and in Before the Storm, you get to see him as a puppy, and it's the most adorable little puppy, and like it does this like low to the ground camera where you see him like run out like he's looking all tough and stuff. That was so cute. I love that dog. Um,
I thought you were gonna tell me that the dog says, "Man, life really is strange," and they cut the black or something.
that'd be
That'd be a
weird.
fucking ending,
That'd be
man.
so
Call
weird.
me, call me, people. I got your back.
I don't know. But anyway. Oh, so I was gonna say, so I mean, you definitely get more out of Before the Storm if you played the first game, but I didn't super care for the first game. I don't necessarily care for that type of game. Like, I would rather it be more just cutscene and telling me the story with like little decisions to be made rather than me like having to walk around and investigate stuff and do stuff like I don't know. It's just not for me. But I mean, you could definitely play Before the Storm without having played the first Life is Strange. I think it would be fine. You'd still be an emotional, intriguing story. You wouldn't like know all of like the secret, like, oh, because when this happens, yeah. So, but I think you'd still enjoy it. So it's a possibility. If you don't want to make the investment to play 2 whole games, you could just skip to Before the Storm because I feel it's the better game. But and partly because Chloe's just fucking awesome. She doesn't care what people think. She has a mouth on her. You get into back talk challenges where you just like shit talk people for like your battle mechanics, and it's fantastic. So you do graffiti and stuff, and like just seeing what she writes on things, it's really entertaining. So I highly recommend it. All right, Cody, what's next?
Okay. So Horizon Zero Dawn came out last year, and one of my favorite games of all time. Um, it's never really stated what Aloy's sexuality is. I think they leave it very open, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the my favorite part about the game is how like lived in that world feels, and how like they make it how they make it I'm trying to think of the words to describe this. Wow, I just went blank on it. Um, so pretty much like there are multiple points in the story where like they add little touches that make the world feel like, hey, like this is actually like realistic. Like there's a quest where you're going to help this person and he's like, "Oh, my husband, like I can't like where's my husband? Can you help me find him?" And like that's a really cool touch. Like I would honestly they could have just typed in my wife and like
Mm-hmm.
been there, but they like made a point to do that. There is a soldier woman who will help you towards the end of the game, and she hits on Aloy as much as possible.
Oh my god,
Um,
her name is Petra, and she is just like mad in love with Aloy, and it
yeah,
is so adorable. And like Aloy's like fine with it. She's kind of flirting back. It's so sweet. That's like one of my favorite scenes of the whole game.
and then you said there was something else, so you can. There was
Yeah,
another.
yeah, there's like this you go to this little village and there's a soldier in charge there who like you can kind of tell she's a woman, but she's like living as a man, and like Aloy's like, "Oh, I thought this culture wouldn't allow women to be soldiers." And this soldier's like, "That's correct. They won't. So, I am not a woman." And so it's like it's just like a different gender representation. She's
Yeah,
like she's really good at being the soldier, and she like leads the village, and like because the rules like don't allow a woman to do it, she's just living as a man and everyone's okay with it because she's so like highly capable and doing the best job, and they respect her for it. So it's just like it's this game does a really good job of just like having stuff casually there in the world, showing it and treating it like it's a normal thing. Like this is just how society is, and there are people there like this. So like, hey,
yeah.
let's show it. So it was really cool. I like that. But yes, oh my god, Petra, I loved her so much. I desperately wanted to, after the game, I was like, I want Aloy to go visit her and see if they can settle down together. But after you beat the game, it like resets the world to right before the final battle. So I can't ever go and see if her and Petra lived happily ever after, which is unfortunate. But to be honest, like everyone in that game is in love with Aloy. Like everybody
And
flirts
like
with her
reasonable.
so bad. Like I mean, how can you not really? She's fantastic. But I like that they just like let everybody, flirt with her, and she seems very friendly and open to things. So that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Just a few quick things here. Um, so South Park, The Fractured Butthole. I, this one surprised me with how great it was because I guess it's true to like the cartoon. I don't watch the cartoon, but Craig and Tweak are two guys that had apparently been in a relationship, and when you start this game, they've broken up. They're in a real bad spot. They're fighting. One of them has a hamster that they bought together. The other one wants it back, but like he won't give it back until he gets his laptop back from the other guy. So like they're not talking to each other. They send you on little missions to go like be the go-between to try to like work out the trade to get their stuff back. So you're dealing with that, and while that's going on, Tweak's dad pulls you aside and is like, "Hey, I think it really sucks that Craig and Tweak are broken up. They were so happy together. I think we should try to get them back together." And so you get a side quest, which is to try to get Craig and Tweak back together. And it just made me so happy that A, that quest was there, and B, that it's from Tweak's parents. That, they're so supportive of him and want him to be happy, and they're trying to get their son back together with his boyfriend. So it was really sweet, and I thought that was great. I love South Park. That's where we got our time fart that we had to use earlier today. So so that's great. Agents of Mayhem is another game I played last year. And this one, you've got a whole slew of different characters you can play as. One of them is Braddock, and she's like this badass soldier. And it turns out that she's dating the gal Friday, who is like the secretary kind of helper lady for the woman in charge. And the way you find out that they're dating is like they're having like little, because Friday will be giving like mission updates to Braddock while she's like out in the field doing stuff. And like they just have these little voice lines where like Friday's like, I just want you to be careful out there. And Braddock says something like, you wouldn't have settled down with me if you were really afraid of the kind of life I live, like, you know what I do or something. And it's just like this casual mention that they're together, and it's really sweet. So I like that. And then later I was reading about it, and I guess there's this other character in it named Hollywood. He's like kind of like a golden boy actor type, and I guess he's a pansexual, but I never got anything in game to like get his voice lines to find out about that, so I don't know. But there's some stuff going on there, so that one's cool. And then to round it out with past games, Dream Daddy. When this one came out, like it kind of seemed just like a phenomenon. Like everybody fell in love with this game, and I mean, obviously gay guys would like it because it's about gay men. But like straight women like it too. Apparently lesbians like it. Straight guys like it too. So it's like everybody liked this game. And I think we all just appreciated the fact that it was out there and that we had this option. And it's a really well put together game. I was a little disappointed by how much emotional story stuff there was with your daughter, because like I just wanted to get in there and date some guys, but I had to deal with teen angst and like my daughter being upset about stuff and her crying and like me not knowing what to do to help her. So it's a real emotional story. They've got a lot of diverse characters in there as well, and it was a really well done game, and so I think that was fun. I think that's gonna round out all of our past games. Cody, there's one future game we're looking forward to that you were going to talk about.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell is she talking about? Yeah, so at E3 they announced Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and they announced that you're gonna have different dialogue options, and like there's gonna be romances in this game, and you can romance anybody you like.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week, but I think my favorite example so far has been when Alexios is flirting with the general guy, and he's like, it's like, oh, so you're the general. What do you do around here? And he's like, oh, I order the men around. He's like, what would you have me do? And he's like, probably hard labor. He's like, oh, you like it rough. And the general's like, pretty much just like, I see what you're doing, but my heart belongs to another, and she is a woman. And like, Alexios gets so fucking mad about it. He's like, and then Cassandra is very awkward when she flirts with one person I saw, and like, it's just gonna be a lot of fun to like mess around in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I love when games give you the option to kind of take it whatever direction you want and have fun with it. So,
Yeah.
and also, I mean, Assassin's Creed is pretty violent. So if you flirt with someone and they turn you down, I mean, probably just gonna kill them. So, unfortunately.
So it's a very toxic relationship there, Sam. I don't
It
think we
is.
should promote that.
So I'm single. So
The fuck? Why would you say that about yourself?
just kidding, just kidding. I don't attack people. It's fine.
Sam is not a murderer.
I'm
Not
not.
at all. Not.
Never once did that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. That's like really the thing that's like pushed me over the edge, and it's like, yeah, I need to get another Assassin's Creed game now because it's gonna be cool. So, all right. So that wraps up the games that we've been playing pretty much. There was a couple other things I wanted to mention. So, Queerly Represent Me, which I've talked about a couple times now. They database of games with queer representation. They're doing the poll that's awesome. They recently had a game jam where I think they had like a 2-week period to create games and submit them. And so they've got a group of 25 games now that have just like various types of queer representation. And there's like all different types of games. So there's like one where it's like a kind of like a action RPG top down, like you go around and then you like have turn-based combat. And it was cool because you're you're this bard woman and you're going to try to save the princess who got locked away in a tower. But you like battle through some stuff and get over where you're gonna go get her, and then you see her like coming out of the tower because she, kicked some ass on her own and was like, yeah, I'm getting the hell out of here. So, I mean, it was cool that it was like two women, but then also this princess is like taking care of herself and taking care of business. I think that one was called Chaotic Quartet, which there were only two people, so I don't know why it's a quartet. Maybe those people were going to come later. I don't know. There was a game called Awkward, where it was like a shooter, and like you're like these, I guess you're these four women that have like busted out of jail, and so you've got like four women talking on the screen, but then you're like doing the shooter part in the game, and they're just like having their dialogue stuff about things. So that was pretty cool. There's one called, I think it was called Super Queer. So it's like superheroes, but queeros, like queer, because like queer heroes. I don't know how to say it. It was weird. His spelling is weird. I think this is the one that it's actually like a board game, and so it like has instructions, and it'll have cards that you can cut out and like a game board that you can print out and play. So it has like all different kinds of stuff. Cody, did you want to talk about the one you played?
What was the name of the one I played? 'Cause I don't know.
Magical Mystery Cure?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
So you're like two girls living in a cabin, and one of them eats a thing. This
Okay.
game was very interesting.
Now, one is like a wizard, and she was making a potion, and it got on like the
Yeah,
picnic, and the girl ate it and shouldn't have, so she gets weird stuff on her face. And then you have to try to make a cure.
and sometimes you can't make the cure, and then you go to a party, and the moral of the story is people love you for who you are, so you don't have to pretend to be
Did
something you're not.
you didn't get her cured?
Fuck no, like I clicked the wrong things apparently.
Well,
Apparently
you just
strawberries and whatever the other thing was not the answer.
you just kept going until you got it right, because like you would make a
You know, they let me
potion.
do it once.
Are
I guess like I did it once and
Oh, you screwed something up, because I did it like 20 times, because every time you'd make a potion,
oh,
it would like fix one thing but break something else, and then you had to like keep doing it and trying new things.
did it
Okay.
once and then it was like, all right, well, it's all right. We'll figure it out later. And then they went to the party.
Oh, well, hey, that's a good moral to the story then.
Yeah.
But hey, everybody has their own experience with these games, apparently. Some of, sorry, some of them are a little rough. I had a couple that I played that I got to little points where I was like, I couldn't get past something. It seemed like there was just like a glitch in the game that wouldn't let you progress. But I mean, when you do a game jam that's like making a really fast
Yeah.
game, sometimes you're gonna hit issues. There were some other ones that I wanted to play, but like I downloaded them and then I went to install them, and my computer was like, this isn't trusted. I don't know if you should do this. Do you really want to do this? And I was like, well, no, I guess I
Gotta
don't.
live on the edge, Sam.
I
Now you
no.
never know.
I mean,
Gotta live on the edge.
I don't want to. I mean, computers are going to get issues
Probably
regardless. I
smart.
don't want to, and I'm sure these games were fine, but I was just like, I was being extra cautious. I'm like, no, I don't want to take any chances, computer. I will not play this game. Sorry. All right. So, but a lot of the games are you can play them just in your web browser, so you don't even have to download anything. So you can go check those out. I'll put a link in the show notes. But it's a fun place to just the game jam to find games, and then just their Tumblr page has like all kinds of queer games just for if you're looking for something fun to play. Um, and then recently I found this girl on Twitter. She's at INT Chloe Spencer, and she does this YouTube series called One Game 1 Minute, and she just like takes a minute and reviews an indie game that's so you can just like see if you want to play it. So this month she's been doing games with either queer representation or queer creators, and so she's done one called Arcade Spirits, which you get to run an arcade, which I guess it's kind of like a maybe I guess like a sim where like you have to do business stuff and plan like how to run your arcade. But then I think there's also flirting in that one. There's one called As We Know It, which this seems kind of like a like if you were in Fallout in the vault living there, because like you're in this vault and there's stuff going on, but then you can romance people in there as well. There might be some creepy bad guys. Unclear. I think that one is a Kickstarter that you can just play a demo for right now. And then the one that she just released today is called Yearning, a Gay Story, and it's a story about coming out. So you're in college, going through trying to manage like your friendships and your relationships and doing stuff, and that one sounds pretty cool. Because like if you are not a queer person and have never had to deal with coming out, like it's always neat to try to get that experience to someone, because you know it's weird. It can be really scary even when you know that it shouldn't be and that everything's going to be fine. So it's just one of those things. So games that try to convey that experience are pretty cool. So those are some things you can check out. All right. So that's all for like game stuff. We're going to take a quick little segue over into esports, where Overwatch League has also been celebrating Pride Month. I think I mentioned previously they had a Pride Day in the studio where like everybody had their rainbow stuff. It was really cool. I noticed last week that there were some teams that on Twitter they had converted their logo to a rainbow logo, which I thought was really cool. So I just want to call them out because these are the teams that went above and beyond in supporting Pride Month. So it was LA Valiant, Houston Outlaws, Philadelphia Fusion, San Francisco Shock, and the Florida Mayhem. And LA Valiant gets a little extra call out also because on the day that they had the Stage 4 finals, they were actually wearing jerseys that had a rainbow logo on them. So they got special jerseys made for it, which was really cool. And I think as I was telling you, Cody, that might have been the little extra special push that they needed to go ahead and win the Stage 4 championship, because I mean they had the gays supporting them. So it was pretty cool. Do you want to talk about the championship semifinals and finals?
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this because fuck New York XL, they lost, they deserve it.
Yes.
Fucking assholes. Alright.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
Seriously, that's what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job, LA Valiant. Proud of you. I knew I was supporting the best team, and they beat NYXL. So
all right.
if they can do it again, I'll be happy.
You know, I would say those are strong feelings to New York Excel. They're just a good team trying their best out there. So maybe don't.
I mean, if you live in the LA area and you're proficient in stabbing out tires before people are in the car, message me on Twitter. We can talk about something.
Okay. Let's not be assholes to the New York Excel, because I'm about to give a real quick lecture about somebody else who's been an asshole and that I did not approve of.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, good point.
So,
okay. I'm jesting. I'm messing around. New York XL is a great team. They're just not my team. So.
We root for somebody else. It's fine.
Sable B has a wonderful wife, apparently.
Oh my god, he is the cutest dog also. Have you seen his dog?
I have not seen his dog.
I don't know what kind it is, but it's real cute. It's kind of not really fox-like, but it's like just like kind of like a real light brown, and it's got lots of fur on its face, which is like every dog ever. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's real cute. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Fur on his face, yeah.
I like Pine. He seems sweet. So just like, everybody is a person and they're doing their best. So let's try to be polite, is what I would say. And that is what I would also say to Kotaku, who wrote an article Sunday night, which I didn't write down the headline, obviously, because I'm a responsible podcaster. But it was like something about Overwatch League finishes season 0-40, possibly shittiest team in the history of the world. And like that, I'm not exaggerating. They said shittiest team in the history of the world in the title of their article. And I was just like, why would you do that? And I mean, Cody says obviously they did it because they want clicks. But like, I think of Kotaku as a responsible, professional news site. And like, you shouldn't just call someone the shittiest team. Like, you shouldn't use the word shittiest in a headline, period. And then it's just like so aggressive and insulting. And I'm like, it just upset me. It blew my mind. I'm like, why would you do that? Why, there's enough negativity in the world. Why can't we just be nice to each other? I mean, they do have the worst record in the league, obviously. Perhaps they have the worst record in all of esports. I don't know. But they are people and they are trying their best and they are really good players. It's just, something is not working there and they're not getting wins. But really to insult somebody like that is just, it's just a low blow. I don't know.
I think the important thing to take away from this is that this person who wrote this headline and wrote this article is probably really upset that they're not getting paid what Shanghai Dragons is getting paid,
Yeah.
and so they're taking it out on them.
Well, and I would
Yeah, I
say
think it's a
who,
very bad headline. Like when I read it to you, I was like,
yeah,
I can't believe this got past somebody who was
yeah.
approving these articles. Like, good God, that's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it just comes off very like unprofessional.
Yeah.
Like, you could write about a team being like you could have wrote like Shanghai Dragons may have gone 0 and 40, but they're hopeful for the next season. And like that is a better headline in my opinion. And like if you want to be like, yeah, they did pretty bad, like just technically the
Mm-hmm.
worst record in sports history, like that's fine to talk about, but like don't come so aggressive with it. Like it's just not.
Well, and I mean, even if they had said, here's the team with the worst record in the league, it would
Yeah.
be a true statement, and it wouldn't be just like such an asshole statement to make. Um,
And like it would be one thing if like all these video game websites are posting this. Not
yeah,
just Kotaku.
no, yeah,
Just no one else chose to write about it except for Kotaku for some reason. Like this dude got really upset
yeah,
and wrote an article about it. Like it makes no sense.
and
And like yeah, like you said, I really respect what Kotaku writes. Like Jason
yeah.
Schreier is like a very well informed writer, and like just see this, I was just kind of like, oh come on, man, like the
Like,
fuck.
just be better than that, you know. I admit I'm one of those cranky old ladies, so I did send an email to Kotaku, which it was hard to find an email address, but I found one that's tips@kotaku.com, and I sent them an email and I told them I was disappointed in them in this headline and that I didn't approve of it. And I did not get a response yet, so probably never will. But I just, and here's the thing, I never clicked through to read the article because, like you had said, they're just doing this to get clicks. So, like, I didn't want to give them the satisfaction of a click. I didn't want to reward that. So, who knows what he said in that article? Maybe it was a really good article, but I'm never gonna know because I didn't read it. So, just a reminder, like, be nice to people. Like, it's not hard to be nice. Don't be a dick. That's really all there is to it. Please, that would make me very happy. The world has enough bad stuff and negativity. Just be decent to each other. That's all I ask. So, all right.
Agreed.
So that was a downer. Let's just go ahead and get one more downer out of the way. Cody, do you want to share the bad news with us?
Yeah. Um. So I kind of avoid talking about this just because it bothers me so. So there is a person who worked on the original Friday the 13th movie named Victor Miller, and apparently he took a deal on the first movie that he would just get paid for that movie, and at that time that they made it, they didn't realize how big it would be and that they would start a franchise that would span across years. So it's been 35 years, and that contract said that after 35 years, you can uh, file a claim that you think you deserve more money. So that is what Victor Miller has done. And in the process of doing this, it has caused New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers and all that to have to halt production on anything related to Friday the 13th. So there was a Friday the 13th movie that was planned to start filming this year, I believe, either this year or next, and that stopped. And I don't think anybody really expected the video game to get hit with this, but a couple weeks ago they announced that, hey, we cannot produce and publish any more content. That they will just keep running the servers and like they'll try to fix like bugs and stuff, but they cannot put out new stuff. So like Jason X and the map based on Jason X's movie was pretty much almost finished, and now it can't get published. Like they're not permitted. And so everyone was kind of like, oh, but like, it's okay. Like once this lawsuit's done, they'll just go back to doing it. And they came out and they made a post and they're like, no, we can't do that. Like we can't use assets in the hope that one day we'll make money back from those assets. Like we're can't. That's not how like developing video games works. So like Friday the 13th, the game's kind of done getting new stuff, which sucks. Like we got the last big update with the single player challenges, but I don't know. That just really sucks. And like fans aren't happy, and like they're blaming Gun and Ilphonic, and it's like, okay, like bring it down. Like these two people obviously care about this game, and they're probably just as upset as you guys are. So yeah, and I respect where Victor Miller is coming from. Like he obviously is inclined to some money because he helped create the idea of Friday the 13th. Um, it just sucks that it's come to this because this is a game that I've made so many friends through, and like obviously the game's still up. It's
Yeah.
just we're not getting any new content, and like you can only play a game for so long and do the same thing over and over and over again before it kind of gets stale eventually. I don't think that's gonna happen to me for this game because I love playing this game.
Yeah.
Um, it just it sucks. I feel for the developers because they cared about the same. Like they wanted to make a game inspired by Friday the 13th and then got approached by the people for Friday the 13th and were like, why don't you just make a Friday the 13th game?
Yeah.
So these people were very passionate about this. They worked with Kane Hodder, they worked with Tom Savini, like all these like icons of Friday the 13th. And it just sucks to see that like all that hard work is now gonna go to nothing and like they have to stop production. And I mean, you never know. Like maybe they could make a second game. Friday the 13th the game, part two. Um, but yeah, it's a bummer. Still gonna keep playing the game though. So, but
Yeah.
I owe a lot to it. It got me my first tattoo. So
Yeah.
I love that game. So
Yeah,
it will.
I feel really bad for it. Cause like it's just like why can't they just work something out? You know? Like
Yeah.
maybe I mean even if it was just like I don't know how money works in business things, but I mean if you like agreed to give him like a small percentage of stuff from the video game, like maybe that would make him happy and you could just like keep doing stuff. Like I don't know. I mean, I know that they can't just sit on hold. They have to move on and do something else, or else they're never going to make any money. Which is
Yeah.
why it's probably not going to get new stuff, even if the lawsuit eventually resolves. But like, I mean, maybe it's still early. Maybe there's still a chance that something could get resolved and they could get something worked out. We don't know. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the world. Um, but we can remain optimistic and we can love it for what it is while we have it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I
Yeah, I
feel
don't
for
think
you.
like they'll turn servers off anytime soon. Like I think
Yeah.
they'll keep those on for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Because,
And
I mean,
right now on Steam, it's half off.
oh,
And I heard that game plays really well on the computer. So
yeah. Check it
yeah.
out. All right. So let's try to get a little bit back up before we end the show. We've got one other news story that I liked that made me real happy because it's just like a fun little thing. So just yesterday, I think, this new ad came out for Minecraft, and
Oh.
it's this survive together thing because it's Xbox and Nintendo combined together to do this ad campaign where because they've got Minecraft crossplay between the two platforms and they're just like, "Hey, we're best buds now. We're getting along with this. This is fine. You want to play together? Play together." And they're like fully leaning into it and embracing it. So, I mean, they've got like a video ad where they've got both of them together, and then they've got just stuff on Twitter where like they just had a real simple screen where it was like green on one side with the Xbox logo and red on the other with Nintendo, and it just said "Survive Together," and it's just really cool. And I like that somebody's getting along. Somebody's doing the right thing. You're making all your players happy, which is very important. Um,
I don't think we've talked about the fact that Sony won't let you do the crossplay.
no, and because somebody made a mock tweet, and it's just the Sony blue with the PlayStation logo, and it says "Survive Alone"
Yeah.
because you can't play together.
Uh, so yeah, Nintendo and Xbox are throwing some major shade at PlayStation
Yes.
because PlayStation refuses to allow crossplay to be a thing, and like multiple games have come out and been like, yeah, like the second that Sony says we can do it, we can flip a switch and it'd work. So yeah, so now you can play Minecraft, Fortnite, and Rocket League across PC, Switch, and Xbox. So
Yeah,
like
it's
that's really
really
cool.
cool. It's fantastic.
Uh, and supposedly this is just the beginning. We could see
Yeah.
some other crossover stuff from what I've been hearing. So
Well, and like, good for them, because just like lean into this and do the right thing and make people happy because like they're getting so much goodwill among fans, and people are so pissed at Sony right now that I mean, Sony still has the exclusives, so people are still going to go there to play it. But if there are people who have multiple consoles, like if they're going to do multiplayer stuff, like they might start migrating to the other platforms where it's more friendly for crossplay. So I mean, Sony's kind of shooting themselves in the foot there. I don't know if they're gonna stick with it, if they'll eventually cave. There's no telling what's gonna happen, but it's exciting times right now, and it
yeah,
makes me happy. Anytime someone just like gives somebody else shit for something in a nice way, like I'm like, yeah, good for you. I love my PlayStation, but yeah, if they're gonna stick it to PlayStation, go ahead and do that. That's all right. So good on them. So yeah. All right. That is all. I think we've talked plenty long because I really need to go to the bathroom, so we must have been going for a long time. So just a reminder, Friday, June 29th, 8 p.m. Central, we're going to have our Trials Fusion Community Game Night. So come and play with us. We'd love to have you. We can have 8 players total in that game.
and if you can't make it, we'll be live streaming it over at twitch.tv/geekardgames. So if you can't
Oh,
be there to play, you can be there to watch. That's fine too.
also, if you can't be there to play, but you still want to play Trials Fusion with somebody sometime, just go ahead and message me privately and I'll play with you because I really like that game. I can't stop playing. Um, if you want to reach out to us, you can email us at contact@geekheartgames.com. Twitter and Facebook are at geekheartgames. We've got our videos over at geekheartgames.com/YouTube. So we've got the latest episode of Two Guardians, Anna Bray, and the Hive that's gone up, and we're getting close to the finale. I think there's only 2 more episodes because Warmind's a real short DLC.
Yeah, a little bit.
We got the live streams over at twitch.tv/geekheartgames. You can join our Discord. That's at geekheartgames.com/Discord. And I mean, if you join, I will try not to abuse my power and demand that you vote in polls on Twitter, unless it's something really important. So I'll try not to abuse it. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, you can get Geek Heart Games shirts at geekheartgames.com/shirts. And a little shout out to Alejandro because he hold on, what?
Is
No,
it shirt or shirts? Because you just said shirts, and last week you gave me shit.
I did. If you read the show notes last week, I had my correction statement. I don't remember which one is the real one, but now both of them work. You can do Geek Heart Games
Okay.
dash shirt or Geek Heart Games dash shirts, because who the fuck remembers? Both of them work. Alejandro knows that they work because he, the great guy that he is, ordered a shirt for his dog Barley because Barley loves the show so much, which I just thought that was amazing. So good for you, Alejandro.
I don't think he really bought the shirt for Barley. I think he bought it for himself, but he put it on Barley as a joke.
Um, no, I don't think so because I mean Barley was wearing the shirt, and I know that Barley really likes the show, so I don't know why Alejandro would buy one for himself.
Okay. Um. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just
Yeah,
go with that then.
let's just go with that. Okay. If you want to get in touch with me on Twitter, I'm at SKSUVAK. Cody.
I am at Comic Book Cody, and we have an article up on the
Yeah.
website at geekcardgames.com. It's called E3 Use Pickpocket. It's super effective out of my wallet. It's about games I'm excited for over the next year and how E3 is going to really hit my wallet hard because of all the games that got announced. So
Yes.
definitely, if y'all can, read it and let me know what you think.
Yeah. So, so I think that's gonna wrap things up. Thank you for sticking with us. We've had a really wonderful month of Pride. I'm glad we got to talk about all of our favorite queer games. I just want to say, Cody, I appreciate you. You've always been very loving and supportive of me, and you've always made me feel great and welcome. So thank you for that, sir.
You're, I'm happy to do that.
All right. On that note, Cody, take it away.
We're just two geeks who are at games. Do 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 do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, now's probably a good time to tell you that when I was going to vote for Gone Home, my
Don't.
finger slipped
Don't.
and hit a night in the woods. I had a full intention of voting for Gone Home, but
Hey, you know what? We won at 55%, so it doesn't even matter. Wasn't even close. So.
Twitter really needs to let you re-vote in polls because that was damn bullshit. I like accidentally I was trying to like scroll up. I clicked it and I was like, "Oh, Sam's gonna murder me if they win."
I would have
But
if they did, but it's okay. It's all good.